Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds his girlfriend making out with her sugar daddy in their home after he lost his job. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I, 38 male, was with my stunning girlfriend, 32, for 10 years. We were crazily in love to the extent that strangers always thought we were married. We would have been, but she wanted a very grand wedding that would be the talk of the town. Although I was earning a reasonable salary, I couldn't afford the wedding unless I saved up, which I was doing until disaster struck. On one fateful day, I arrived at work only to meet a fuss. I asked around and was told that the company had laid off some workers, and I was one of them. I refused to believe it until I was summoned to the HR department where an official sack letter was handed to me. When I got home, my girlfriend was waiting for me with a smile on her face. She had visited the latest spa in town and couldn't wait to tell me all about their amazing facilities and uniqueness, but those weren't what I wanted to hear. I told her about the ordeal I experienced. She bombarded me with questions about my next step and how I planned to keep making money. I was so shocked that she didn't sympathize with me or try to cheer me up. I voiced my thoughts and she slammed me for being petty. She then asked me if we were going to feed on sympathy or pay the bills with it. I attributed her behavior to anxiety and assured her that I had some savings we could live off until I found a job. Unfortunately, finding a job seemed harder than I thought. My savings were diminishing, so I pleaded with my girlfriend to stop spending what was left on luxury. She didn't take that lightly. She cussed at me and yelled out her refusal to live below her standard. I explained to her that it was just a temporary situation and that things would return to normal once I got a job. In response, she threw my debit card at me and stormed out, only to return home drunk. I tried to understand why she was acting this way, but I couldn't. After that day, she changed completely. She would yell at the slightest provocation. She would cuss me for no reason. She would cook food in small portions and eat them alone. Oh, and the real hell was when she would wake up at midnight or any time and start nagging at me. In the afternoons when I was busy applying for jobs, she would mock me for my joblessness. It became a torment I dreaded, but I held on to the knowledge that it would stop once I got a job. Perhaps those actions were a pretense, her way of motivating me to try harder. One day, I went out for an in-office interview, and when I returned home, I met a devastating sight that broke me. I was tired and frustrated, and at the top of the list, I found my girlfriend of 10 years caressing a man old enough to be her father, right in my living room. Was he the reason she had been acting up? Was he the reason she made my life unbearable and turned my home into a living hell? So many questions were raging through my mind, but I only managed to ask her why. She told me I wasn't meeting her needs anymore, so she found a replacement. What in the world was that? An explanation? I reminded her about the numerous times she had claimed she loved me and wished to spend the rest of her life with me. She told me she hadn't lied about those things, but that love couldn't pay the bills. I asked her which bill she was talking about. We had been living together for 9 years, and from then till now, I had been fitting all the bills single-handedly. My only shortcoming was my inability to afford her luxury. She yelled that her luxury was a basic necessity that she couldn't live without. She introduced the man to me as her sugar daddy. Then she told me he knew about us and was okay with it. He was funding her, and she was repaying the favor. That was all that mattered. I stared at the man in disgust, but he didn't mind. He told me he had been itching to see the man who couldn't cater to such a pretty lady's needs. I felt like ripping him into shreds, but I restrained myself. Instead, I ordered him and my girlfriend to leave my house. I braced myself to reject my girlfriend's apology, but it never came. Instead, she heaved with relief and said, "Thank goodness." Then she left with her sugar daddy. For hours, I stood rooted in the same spot, trying to make sense of what just happened. A month after that terrible heartbreak, I got a call from one of the reputable companies I had applied to. I hopped on a virtual interview with them. We talked, and I satisfyingly answered all their questions. They awarded me the job, and I resumed the following week. It was a well-paying job that provided me with some nice benefits. 6 months later, I met this pretty lady who was nothing like my ex. I asked her out, and she accepted. She was financially independent, and she strongly believed couples were equal in every way. She preferred simplicity and didn't indulge in luxury often. She was everything I never knew I wanted. It seemed like the universe wanted to compensate me for the years I spent with the wrong person. Speaking about the devil, she suddenly called me one morning when I was having a good time with my girlfriend. My girlfriend convinced me to pick it up. When I did, she began to beg me to allow her back into my life. She explained that she was no longer with her sugar daddy and that she was sorry for all she did. That she had lost her job and she couldn't find another one. That she was devastated and needed me in her life. I told her I didn't want her anywhere near me again. That she should have fun with her old lover. When she refused to let me be, I handed the phone to my girlfriend. My girlfriend gave her a good pep talk about how she needed to fix herself before she thought about getting into any relationship. She kept screaming at my girlfriend to shut up and return the phone to me. My girlfriend wished her a good life and then hung up on her. After that, she blocked her on all the social media platforms we were connected on. I'm happy you're in a much better place right now, OP. You really could do better than your ex, and you did. Your new girlfriend sounds amazing. Your ex is horrible for how she treated you after you stopped paying for her fancy expenses and after you lost your job. The comments she made were really mean, and to top it all off, she was brazen enough to make out with her sugar daddy in your house. This is not the behavior of someone who loves you. It's obvious she only saw you as an ATM, and when you weren't able to be that anymore, she thought she had no more use for you. But now, after everything she did, she wants you back. Your girlfriend is right. I hope for your ex's sake she's learned her lessons and wouldn't make the same mistakes, but I honestly doubt it. That's her dilemma. Take care of yourself and your girlfriend, OP. Story 2. About 2 years ago, I got married to the woman of my dreams. She has beautiful brown hair, dreamy blue eyes, and the hottest smile. But recently, I noticed something was off. She's been buying me gifts, apologizing for anything and everything, and paying for meals. I wouldn't think this was off, except I found a pair of underwear that isn't mine. So I decided I was going to catch her in the act. Only I didn't need to. We were watching Fresh, the Disney Plus movie, in bed, and she got up to use the bathroom. And her phone lights up. I have very poor self-esteem and bad confidence, so I checked. It read at the top, "My love," and 2 hearts. Oh well, maybe her parents? But wait, it gets worse. The text reads, "For context, I also have ADHD and autism, and I shit you not," it reads, "I can't wait to F your brains out tomorrow after your R-word of a husband is finally gone for his business trip." She doesn't know I've seen this. What should I do? I went to find the texts again and they had been deleted. But I decided I would have to get a new form of evidence and set up a camera and go for my trip. At 2 a.m. last night, I got a notification of activity. I saw her effing her brother in my own house that I bought on furniture I paid for. I've got evidence, but obviously I can't post it here. Thanks for all your nice comments, and I'll update you when I get a divorce. I'm back from my trip and I've got a good lawyer and filed for divorce. I'll update after the case is over. It is over, but I have a major issue. The house is in our name, so we've got 50-50 on it. I've tried to buy her half, but she refused and told me to unalive myself. I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. Your marriage is over. There's nothing left to fix. How can you even fix this? It's bad enough that she's cheating, but she's doing it with her brother? That just makes this way worse and more complicated. Even though you didn't totally get all you wanted during the divorce, at least you got your freedom. Now, you get to give yourself chances to be in love with someone who truly loves you back. I wish you good luck, OP. Now for some comments. Her brother? What the F? Damn. You don't need to dig deeper, just leave. It's messed up enough that she's cheating. Her brother? My mind is hoping it's a stepbrother or something. But that's the optimist in me. Good luck and get a lawyer. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. I believe you should divorce. Do it quietly, gather evidence such as those texts, send them to you, then delete screenshots from her phone and delete the convo. When your lawyer says it's time, just serve her the papers. Don't be suspicious. Let her find out when she's served. She doesn't deserve you. You deserve better. Don't stick with a cheater. You can find somebody much better. Do what is best for you. Forget about her. My ex didn't come home once. When I met her, I was the other guy. She told me she was breaking up with him, but there was some type of an overlap apparently. I don't know why I thought she wouldn't cheat on me too. I had all my shit packed up by 7 a.m. and had the power and telephone cancelled since they were both in my name. My buddy came by with his truck and we loaded it up and drove the truck to the leasing office. Had to wait until 9 a.m. when they opened it and had my name off the lease by 9:15. F that shit. Don't tell me you fell asleep playing Nintendo at a friend's house when you don't even play video games. Bye-bye. Once a cheat, always a cheat.